Here's the thing. We are the first generation that have grown up with the internet as part of our everyday life. And we're the first generation that have grown up with the internet literally attached to us. And we're the first generation that are always on. And if you look at the data, anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues have risen at an alarming rate in the last 10 years. And they're more prevalent in this generation than any generation in human history. And if you look at the data, there's some terrifying statistics. Looking at searches for anxiety on Google alone, there's a huge increase in people searching things like, do I have anxiety from 2010 onwards? What happened in 2010? For the vast majority of young people, our lives are ran 24/7 by mobile notifications. And for those without notifications on, a mixture of clever habit-forming design, the fear of missing out, social validation, and chemical releases in our brains will undoubtedly have us coming back to social media 20 to 30 times a day, regardless. It's that exact addiction to social media that has you watching me on Facebook right now, and the smartphone is just the modern-day digital syringe, a syringe that gives you a little kick of dopamine every time you log in. And Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp are the biggest drug dealers in the world. A study from Harvard showed that social media usage fires up the same part of the brain that lights up when you're taking addictive substances like cocaine. And just like heroin, it's often not the feeling you get when you're using it that's so unpleasant, it's the feeling of being without it that makes us so anxious. Social media allows us to compare everything, and we do. Relationships, our diet, our figure, our hair, clothes, holidays, lifestyles, but not just with our friends, with total strangers and celebrities, with Kim Kardashian. These are false comparisons. We're comparing filtered, fabricated highlight reels to our own raw behind-the-scenes footage. And that's why studies have found that people who compare themselves with others on social media are more likely to feel depressed than anyone. If you are predisposed to anxiety, it seems that pressures from social media can act as the tipping point, making you feel more insecure and more overwhelmed than you would without. But it's not just social media, it's the 24/7 connectivity that's having an adverse effect on our mental well-being. If you imagine this for a second, our grandparents grew up in a time where their whole world was the room they were currently sat in and the people and problems within it. That was the size of their world. It was the size of their front room. To this generation, when we pick up our smartphone, our world is enormous. There are billions of people in the room, millions of problems, feelings of anxiety, inadequacy, terror attacks, political tensions, fear, sadness. Every person you've ever dated is in the room, and their new partner's there too. Our best friends are there. The person we're attracted to is there. Our family's there, their family's there, every celebrity's there, and gold stars are being handed out in the form of likes and followers to those that look the best, are the funniest, and say the most interesting things. What an incredibly hard world for a young person trying to find themselves to grow up in. So for all it's good, social media is an incredibly new and dangerous world. And someone once said that anxiety, stress, and worry are all forms of fear, and they are caused by too much future and not enough present. It has never been more important to be in the present, to find time to disconnect and to live in the moment. After all, now, in the real world, is the only thing we actually have.